Hi everyone! Welcome back to our Twenix mini-series part 2. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I highly recommend watching it first because in that video, I explained what Twenix is, who their students are, and why so many English teachers are interested in working there. And if this is your first time on the channel, my name is Grace, and I create content to help ESL tutors discover teaching opportunities, prepare for interviews, and succeed in the online teaching industry. So for today, I will walk you through the complete application process from submitting your online application all the way to the recording of the 2 video tasks. I will also share some tips that I wish I had known before applying. And to start with, I want to remind everyone that companies can change their requirements and hiring procedures over time. So always refer to the official Twenix website for the most updated information. With that being said, let's get started. Most applicants fail Twenix not because they're bad teachers, but because they don't know what Twenix is really looking for. Many tutors prepare for Twenix as if they're applying to a traditional ESL company. But Twenix is different. They're not simply looking for someone who can explain grammar rules. They're looking for tutors who can create engaging conversations and help learners speak naturally and confidently. Let's begin with the basic requirements. The first requirement is strong English proficiency. Generally speaking, Twenix prefers tutors with a high level of English fluency, typically around a C1 or a C2 level. This doesn't mean you need to sound like a native speaker. What matters most is that you can communicate clearly, confidently, and naturally. The second requirement is clear pronunciation. A perfectly neutral accent is not always necessary, but students should be able to understand you easily. Remember, communication is the goal. The third requirement is teaching experience. Now, this is where many applicants get nervous. The good news is that extensive teaching experience is not always required. However, any experience in teaching, tutoring, coaching, mentoring, or working with learners can definitely strengthen your application. And finally, you'll need a stable internet connection, a decent headset, and a quiet teaching environment. These seem like simple requirements, but remember, they are extremely important because Twenix classes are conducted online. Now let's move on to the actual application process. So let's go to step 1. Step 1 is to submit your online application. The first thing you'll do is visit the Twenix website and complete their online application. So I will be providing the link in the description box for your convenience. And please take note that I am not affiliated with Twenix and I do not receive any commission, compensation, or other benefits if you use the link or apply through it. I am just simply sharing this information to help those who may be interested in applying. So here you will answer a short questionnaire about yourself, your teaching background, your English proficiency, and your work experience. Also, your motivation for becoming a Twenix teacher. So please take your time answering these questions. Remember that this is the first impression you will make on the recruitment team. So make sure to write professionally, check your grammar, and make sure all the information you provide is accurate. If you're uploading a resume or CV, make sure it's updated and highlights any teaching, tutoring, coaching, customer service, or communication experience you have. Even if you don't have years of ESL experience, don't underestimate other experiences that demonstrate your communication skills. Once you've submitted your application, you will simply wait for the recruitment team to review it. Step number 2, receive an invitation for the video tasks. If your application passes the initial screening, you will receive an email inviting you to complete the next stage. This stage consists of 2 short video tasks. Please notice that these are not live interviews. Everything is pre-recorded, which means you have time to prepare and record your best performance before submitting it. Along with the invitation, Twenix provides an information pack containing the instructions for the 2 tasks. Please read every instruction carefully. Don't rush into recording immediately. Spend some time understanding exactly what they are looking or asking you to do. Following instructions carefully is something the recruitment team specifically looks for. And then step 3, record the 2 video tasks. This is probably the most important part of your application. The 2 tasks are designed to simulate a real Twenix lesson. Rather than simply testing your English, Twenix wants to see how you teach, communicate, guide conversations, and interact with students. When recording your videos, imagine that you are speaking to an actual student. Don't forget to smile naturally. Maintain eye contact with the camera. Speak clearly and confidently. Avoid sounding like you're memorizing a script. Remember that Twenix classes are conversation-focused. Instead of talking the entire time, you have to demonstrate how to encourage your students to participate. Ask open-ended questions and give positive encouragement. Also, provide gentle corrections whenever appropriate. Show that you can keep a conversation flowing naturally. Now, here are some tips for recording your videos that helped me. First, record in a quiet room with good lighting. Natural light works great if possible. Second, make sure your microphone sounds clear. Poor audio quality can distract an excellent teaching demonstration. Third, keep your background clean and professional. A simple background looks much better than a cluttered one. Fourth, dress professionally just as you would for an actual online class. By the way, you don't need formal business attire, but you should look neat, approachable, and ready to teach. Fifth, practice before recording. You don't need to memorize every word. Instead, become familiar with the lesson flow so you can speak naturally. Imagine that the student is sitting in front of you. Don't forget to build rapport before jumping into the lesson. And pause naturally when asking questions, just as you would with a real student. And finally, don't aim for perfection. Aim to sound like a real teacher having a real conversation. Your warmth, confidence, and ability to engage students matter much more than sounding robotic. And before uploading your videos, watch them from beginning to end. Ask yourself these questions. Can people hear me clearly? Is my lighting good? Am I smiling? Do I sound encouraging? Did I follow every instruction? Did I stay within the required time limit? You know, it's much better to spend a few extra minutes reviewing your videos than to regret submitting something you could have improved. Once you've submitted your video tasks, all that's left is to wait. The recruitment team carefully reviews every application. And because Twenix receives many applications, response times can vary. Some applicants hear back relatively quickly, while others wait much longer. So don't panic if you don't receive an immediate reply. If you're successful, you'll be invited to complete the Twenix onboarding program before you begin teaching. So overall, I found the Twenix application process to be straightforward. The biggest challenge isn't the application form, it's demonstrating that you can create a friendly, engaging conversation while helping a student improve their English. So my advice is don't overthink it. Just be yourself, be professional, show enthusiasm, and most importantly, teach the way you would during a real lesson. That's the most important thought an applicant should have in mind. So, I truly hope this video helps those of you who are planning to apply. If you have any questions about the Twenix application process, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll answer as many as I can. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next episode in this Twenix mini-series. In part 3, we'll look at what happens after you're accepted. I will give you an overview of the Twenix teaching experience, from how classes are structured, what tutors are expected to do, and what you can expect before and during your lessons, all while respecting Twenix's confidentiality policies. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best with your Twenix application. I will see you in part 3. God bless!